So here we are in Kanazawa. This is the perfect city to show you what I have in front of me today. Kanazawa is a very traditional and cultural Japanese city, and we're going to be eating food from over 400 years ago. Not just any food either. This is the food of the Daimyo.
Only in Japan.
Kanazawa is a city along the Sea of Japan, just 2.5 hours away by Hokuriku Shinkansen from Tokyo. Famous as a cultural hub with a strong connection to the country's long history. At the Nomura clan samurai house, you can try matcha with a history going back over 700 years. Chado, or the tea ceremony in Kanazawa, was a very important skill accomplishment for bushi or samurai. Having a perfect cup of tea in a perfect cup is like drinking the city's history. It's easy to feel a connection to history and nature in Kanazawa. This shop sells a special traditional food with a history going back to the Edo period. This is Kaburazushi. It's a very famous dish in Kanazawa. It's buri, or yellowtail amberjack fish, sandwiched between two pieces of kabura, Japanese white turnip fermented in koji rice malt. There were no refrigerators in the Edo period, so preserving food in this way was popular. And the ingredients, a luxury. It was the food of the rich and a desired gift to receive. Thankfully, it's a little more affordable these days, so we gave it a try. You can hear that pickled turnip crunch. This is Masakazu Shijimaya, who helps run the family business.
I've heard that the origin of Kaburazushi is in Edo era. We and our ancestors eat Kaburazushi in a special occasion, like a celebration or a New Year and a wedding. So there is a custom to eat Kaburazushi in special occasion right now. We salt and mature yellowtail fish about 6 months to 1 year. So it takes a long time to make Kaburazushi.
Tonight is a dinner at a restaurant established centuries ago and served Japanese feudal lords known as Daimyo. Kanae and I wanted to go in style, and that meant putting on summer kimonos. We strolled past Kanazawa Castle and through one of Japan's top 3 most beautiful gardens, Kenrokuen, developed in the 1620s by the Maida clan, Daimyo of the Kaga domain. This garden was for the residents of the castle, but now open to all to enjoy. The Gotoji Toro stone lantern, with its wide legs, is a symbol of the garden, the city, and Ishikawa Prefecture. We arrived at Otomo in time for our Daimyo meal. As you may know, Japanese service is arguably the best in the world, and this area has some of the top restaurants and traditional inns. The level of service connected to the standards from centuries ago. Otomo is one of the city's most famous restaurants housing historical recipes. The chefs who train here often have success starting their own restaurants, and they were here hard at work preparing the feast for tonight. Ingredients for regal meals like this often came from very faraway places that cost extremely high to transport quickly in the Edo period. We have never eaten this kind of cuisine before in this style. What you have before us are 3 trays here, and this is how people ate over 400 years ago during the Edo period, and it's so confusing to us. We see this delicious food, but there's a culture to it. 文化があるんですね。
Yes.
You can't just attack it. There's sort of a pattern, and I'm actually so afraid of maybe doing something wrong that it makes me really nervous to be eating. すごい緊張してます。だから最初に何食べてほうがいい、あと日本
一の膳を先に
一の膳を。
はい。
これが一の膳。
This is Otomo-san, owner and keeper of those historical recipes.
はい。
一の膳、はい。
そして右が自分の右がこれ。
二の膳。
二の膳。
三の膳。
はい、三の膳。Start in the middle and eat your way to your right.
はい。
Japanese cuisine can be quite intimidating with rules and manners, so it's always good to ask a pro. With the boss supervising, special dishes quickly appear. The appearance, shocking. Presentation meant to turn heads. Were we supposed to eat this? In front of us was a bird, a pheasant, looking back at us. It's the breast meat marinated in a sauce and fried, a centuries-old recipe. Still, it's hard to get over the fact that the bird is sitting wings spread as we feast on it. This kind of toughness is required to be a feudal lord in Japan, and it comes with a little ginger.
It's not chicken. It's not chicken. It's a little bit hard. It's harder than chicken. But tastes
Tastes like chicken?
like chicken.
I don't know about that.
No.
Well, it seems like it's a little bit tougher than chicken. It's not juicy in that way, but it is in a very delicious sauce around it, and it's been fried. It's a meaty taste, and it breaks apart in your mouth a little bit differently than chicken, and that makes it pretty special to me. I've never had Geigi before. Tomoro had some surprises like this fire sake ceremony. A drink for an accomplished warrior. The presentation meant to dazzle important guests. Fire rising in the streams of strong booze. It's super strong and has a slight charred taste, beloved by the top.
これはね、タイの辛蒸しといって、
Here's another special dish, Thai or red snapper, but when you cut it open, it's been stuffed.
要はおめでたい魚です。
The secret of its preparation will not part the chef's lips. These are luxury drinking snacks for Daimyo from the sea. Among the 3 trays presented to us are these dishes from the restaurant's historical cookbook. Japanese sake was served in ceremonial saucers, beautiful lacquerware. Sometimes the food simply was hard to get to, locked in shells. This shellfish simply wouldn't budge. Otomo-san showed me the secret. Twist the meat out. I have a long way to go before I can eat like a daimyo. So what did Japanese eat centuries ago? I asked Hasegawa Takanori from Hokuriku University.
日常生活に、何食べましたか？
はい、日常生活で食べるのは朝は湯漬けって言ってご飯にお湯をかけるだけで、あとはたくあんがなんかみたいなそういうものですね、このもので、昼はよく書かれてるのは焼き飯って書いてあるので、残ったご飯を焼いて食べるんですね。そういうのがあります。でその時にごぼうとか何々って書いてある程度ですね。で、よくテレビなんかで江戸時代は2食でしたってよく言いますけど、そんなことないですね。1750年代、法暦以降はろうそくが大量に作れるようになって、でその前までは豆苗ですから菜種油なんでもったいないから本当に明るいうちでしか生活しなかったんですね。だから2食食べて寝るっていう感じだったんですが、それからは夜まであるので夕食っていう言葉は出てきませんが夜食って書いてあります。でそうするとそこの夜食っていう中に魚食べたりなんかやっぱりしてます。ただし一汁一菜、要はご飯のほかに汁物一つとおかずが一つっていうのが基本生活です。それに一汁二菜ぐらいまでせいぜいで。結婚式だとかなんかがありますね。そうすると普通の侍なんかは武士のうちでは一汁三菜までだ。これは藩法でいろいろ書いてお定めが切ってあるんですけど、それで決められてますので、それをオーバーすることは基本的にない。ただしたくさん食べたいじゃないですか。ね、いろんなものを。だからどうするかって言ったら近所のお侍さんたちもみんな同じようなところに住んでますからね。そうすると一つの家でこんな大きな大皿におかずガッと作るわけですよ。でそれを持ち寄ってみんなで食べると3軒集まれば3歳でしょ。でも一汁2歳までだったら6歳になりますよね。それをちょっとずつ小分けにしてみんなで食べるっていうのはありますね。
Soon the entertainment arrived, and I had every intention to party like it was 1699. This is a Geigi, Geisha or Geiko entertainment that includes musical performances and dance. Geiko still train and entertain in Kanazawa, different than Kyoto in some ways. There remain many old chaya or tea houses in the city, which are hundreds of years old. Geiko don't typically play the drums, not in Kyoto anyway, as this practice is only in Kanazawa. Geiko train hard to reach a top status in music, dance, song, and conversation. Being highly skilled in many things is a very important historical trait for Kanazawa. long way to go. Kanae, on the other hand, had a more natural talent. But I was not going to be outdone. I turned to my secret weapon in 17th century partying, graceful dancing. One of the Geiko dragged me back willingly to the dance floor for more entertainment. At Daimyo banquets like this, meals can go on for a long time, and each one was meant to be a lot of fun. Let's speed it up. Playing games with Geiko is part of a fun evening, and after several hours of eating, drinking, laughing, singing, and dancing, the night was over. We'd eaten a feast, Gochisousama deshita, a very important word in Japanese cuisine at the end of a meal to give appreciation for those who brought all the food together. I asked Otomo-san about the food, recipes, and history.
ただ私のところは代々韓藩の御前所、要は料理人だったのですから、それから数えるともう250年以上経っています。でそのレシピやいろんなもので今食べてもらういろいろなお料理が出来上がってるわけで、そのレシピは今そこにもうたくさんあります。これはね、やっぱり一つのおもてなしをするときには、ね、力いっぱいお腹いっぱい明日の上も忘れて楽しんでくださいっていうコミュニケーションの場なんですね。だから、大きい大名になればなるほど要は自分の財力を持ってそしてご馳走する。それで、要はお互いのステータスやお互いの信頼関係を結ぶっていうのが、これがその宴席の基本なんですね。でそれを忠実に、今でも私どもは守って、今現在それを簡略して今の日本料理の懐石料理っていうのはあるんですが、本来は一つ一つの御膳で、出して、しかも6時間とか8時間の要は宴席をする、これが通常の姿だったんですね。そういうレシピがね、私のところにはたくさん残ってる。
たくさん
たくさん
もっとあるの？
たくさんある。
いや、また来ます。ありがとうございます。
I ate so many things for the first time.
It was an amazing meal, but for me, it also reminded me of the importance of food. With the invention of the refrigerator and preservatives, our food lasts longer. We get it at the supermarket. We sometimes forget that this stuff comes from all over the world sometimes. The value of it is very important to remember. And I love this word, Gochisousama deshita, to give appreciation for everybody bringing this. That's why the phrase is so important. And if you come to Japan, don't forget Gochisousama deshita. Kanazawa is a pretty special city loaded with a lot of history and culture. This place, Otomo, it's worth a visit. Kanazawa is a quick 2.5 hours from Tokyo by Hokuriku Shinkansen, and a trip here to immerse yourself into the city's long history, food, and culture is one you'll never forget. If you liked it, click that subscribe button and definitely check out another one of the Only in Japan series videos. Mata ne.